guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card, we are going to be finding out the next big blessing that is coming into your life. We're also going to be seeing how this blessing will find you, giving you some advice to prepare for this blessing and to make the best of it. And we're also going to see how this blessing is going to impact your life moving forward. So there's a lot of stuff to get into, but just before we do, our video does have a sponsor today. So prima di cominciare voglio ringraziare Babbel. Thank you Babbel for sponsoring today's video. So if you guys have not heard of Babbel before, they are a language learning app. I've been using Babbel for about 6 months now, and I have to say in my whole career of language learning, which has been long, Babbel is definitely my favorite language app that I've used so far. I decided to learn Italian because my family is from Italy, and I actually just completed the course, which is very impressive because I'm someone who tends to fall off the wagon and not really finish what I start. So I was very impressed that I was able to stay entertained and enjoying the process through to the end. The lessons are short and interactive and super fun. There's a lot of different formats, so you get that variety. And rather than just memorizing vocabulary and grammar, you get to see real life conversations and understand how a native speaker would naturally be talking. So if you go with just the Babbel app, you will get access to all of these lessons, which you can complete at your own pace, as well as games, podcasts, and videos. Or you can try Babbel Live, which will give you access to online live lessons with amazing language teachers. The fastest way to learn how to speak a new language is by actually speaking it. And I know, believe me, I know that this can be scary, but Babbel Live gives you a safe environment where you can practice having conversations with other people in your target language while receiving feedback from the teachers. The teachers are all highly qualified, they have tons of patience for beginners, and the classes are small. They're limited to 6 people, so you don't have to worry about getting lost in a big crowd of students and not getting the help that you need. You can search by the day, by the time window that works for you, as well as the difficulty level. And if you're not sure what level you're at, you can complete a little quiz and then Babbel will help to place you. It's also much cheaper and less stressful than actually going out to a language class. You can do everything from the comfort of your own home and on your own schedule. Plus, there is a 20-day money-back guarantee. If you are committed to learning your target language and you want to really challenge yourself and get comfortable speaking, I would definitely recommend using Babbel Live. However, the basic app is also a great place to start for learning at your own pace. For a limited time, my viewers can get exclusive discounts on both the Babbel app and Babbel Live. So if you guys are interested in giving it a try, you can use the link, which will be down below in the description box as well as in the pinned comment, for 40% off your subscription. Thank you so much as always to Babbel for partnering with us on today's video. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much to you guys for listening to that, and now let's get on to your reading. Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card, we are going to be finding out what big blessing is coming into your life next. Once we see what this blessing is, we are also going to take a look at how this blessing will come into your life, what you can do to prepare for this blessing and to receive it smoothly, and we'll also see how this blessing is going to impact your life. So there are 4 readings for you to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of the crystals one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. If you do feel drawn to more than one pile, that is totally fine. Please feel free to watch however many readings you want because there are no limits to the blessings that you can receive. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you the crystals. Number 1 is Apatite. Number 2 is Pyrite and Calcite. Number 3 is Pink Calcite. And number 4 is Clear Quartz. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Apatite, this is going to be a reading all about your next big blessing. I have to tell you guys, I am already getting so many messages before we even get into the cards, which I think is a really good sign. The first thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that I am in such a good mood before filming this group. It feels like my heart has been busted open and I feel connected to everybody and I just want to give everybody a hug. And I guess this could be the energy of a celebration or the energy of somebody who is feeling very loved and accepted. I really hope that this is your energy or your near future energy that I'm picking up on, because it's really, really lovely. And I also wanted to tell you guys that the color green is lucky for you, probably because it is the color that's associated with the heart chakra. And this energy I'm sitting with really feels like my heart is wide open. So specifically, I wanted to tell you guys that if you do like crystals and carry them around, you might want to carry a green crystal around with you for the next few days to bring you good luck. If you have an important interview, an important exam, or any kind of evaluation, if you can't carry a green crystal with you, even wearing something that is green, even if it's literally your socks, this could bring good luck to you. Or like when you're at home studying, to leave a green stone out on the desk or something like that. And also, I cannot get the image of a pig out of my head. So maybe some of you guys watching are Year of the Pig, Year of the Boar, or somebody who is Year of the Pig or Boar is significant to you. But I'm gonna go into this spirit animal book. I have it on my table and I'm gonna find, no, is there no pig? Maybe there's a boar. Let me see. Oh, okay, thank goodness, that would have been so awkward. So there is a boar, and let's just see what it says, because that image is really, really strong in my mind. Stop your procrastinating and move forward on that project that you started and have yet to finish. It's time to meet whatever situation or person in your life that's causing you distress head on and achieve some sort of closure. You're at the beginning of a period of wealth, prosperity, and personal growth. Face your fears and do whatever is necessary to resolve them so that you can find peace. Whatever controversy you're involved in will soon be settled in a fair and just manner. Okay, so let's finally get into your cards. We're just going to get right into it and see what this blessing is that is coming to you. Whew. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell because it is kind of glary, it looks like, but this flame is very, very robust. She is doing her thing. Okay, group number 1. What is the blessing that is coming to... Wow. We have the star. And, okay, so 2 cards coming out. Oh my god. You have the star and the 4 of wands, which are like the 2 biggest cards when it comes to your wildest hopes and wishes coming true. Jeez. And then we also have the Hierophant. This came out at the same time. So first we have Aquarius energy here and we have Taurus energy here. So somebody of these signs might be significant for you guys, or maybe this is your sign, or the window between Aquarius season and Taurus season might be significant for you guys. But oh my god. So I'm going to start over here with the star. Usually if this is coming out in a reading about like what's gonna happen, what's my blessing, this generally tells me that this blessing is something that you guys already have set your sights on, probably for a long time. You've been dreaming for it, longing for it, praying for it, manifesting it, watching readings about it. Probably a lot of you guys who chose this group, you clicked on this video hoping to hear that your next blessing was a specific thing. Like, I really hope Kino's going to tell me that it's my dream coming true. And of course, it's a general reading and that is going to be different for everybody, but that is what the star so clearly tells me in readings like this. Like, yes, this is a big yes. It is that thing that you have been hoping for. It is that thing that you have been longing for. More specifically, though, I'm getting the feeling for many of you guys that this was something that at some point in the past, whether that was a few months ago or a few years ago, this dream or this manifestation did seem to be in your reach. Maybe some of you were really close to getting it, or it was actually in your hands. But due to recent events, it kind of feels like this thing has drifted away from you. And what once seemed like a plausible future for you, maybe now kind of seems like a distant fantasy or the one that got away kind of energy. Because the star kind of has, and you guys will know this if you watch my videos, thank you by the way, but the star for me is like a dream that feels too good to be true, but it's not. So, you know, you're hoping and praying for it, but half of you is kind of like, maybe it is time to pack up and move on. But no matter how much you may try to, there's something in your heart and soul that just keeps, and oh, there we go. I feel emotional. I feel teary. Not like I'm gonna cry, but I feel that emotion. Like there's something in your soul that could never really let go. The Four of Inspiration and the Four of Wands that we have here is also a huge wish fulfillment card. It actually, you can see it in the beams coming down to the people's head, that it kind of looks like 1111. And for me, the Four of Wands also has an element of destiny. So for group number 1, the very things that you want for your life, the very things that you dream about are very, very closely tied to your destiny, which just means that the things that you want as a human are really in perfect alignment with what your soul wants as well. And I think it's really cool that we have the Hierophant here, because especially in this deck, for me, like this is the little human and this is the higher self, because the Hierophant does talk about being spiritually aligned. The number 5 makes me think of the 5D, and this for me is like totally showing a connection between you and your higher self. So your destiny is coming to you. Your wildest hopes and dreams are coming to you. For a lot of you, this will have to do with some kind of union, because both of these cards can talk about, well, this card can talk about a wedding. This card can talk about a marriage. So for some of you, it could literally be that you are getting married, or someone is proposing to you, or you're meeting the person that you're going to marry, or that you're coming into a very, very harmonious union. This could be, for example, if it's not literally a marriage, it could be a business partnership. It could also be friendships, because the star is Aquarius energy, which makes me think of friendships. And then we do have like a community of soul siblings, soul family here. So it could be a friendship union as well. But there is some kind of union happening. And that's probably why I felt your heart opening so much, because you're welcoming love and you're with a person, or you're with people who love you. I should also say the Four of Wands can talk about a project that is being successfully completed. And it's very, very interesting that I kept seeing it was a boar. We found out it was a boar. But I felt like I was meant to read you guys that message of, it's time to stop procrastinating and get this project done. When that is a meaning of the Four of Wands. Like a project has been completed and now you can release it out into the world, and now you can celebrate it. With the Hierophant here, this has to do as well with institutions and authority. So some of you guys, it's like your project, your baby, your creation, your brainchild, which is very innovative, by the way, because we have the star here. Some of you guys have been working on something that is really close to your heart and kind of out there, you know, something a little bit unique, something that maybe the world hasn't seen the likes of quite yet. And it's getting picked up by the big guys. It's getting picked up by an institution or an organization. I guess if I could give an example, this would be like, you have been working on a book and now it's going to be released with a big publisher. You know, this could be like a beneficial partnership with someone who has more authority, or with like a bigger institution, and they're going to help to get your project and get your creation out there. Some of you guys are receiving approval as well, like approval from an organization or approval from a higher up to go forward with something. Like you're getting the green light on your plan, you're getting the green light on your project. I got This is very, very specific, but I just got an image of something to do with like, you know, commercial, what would you call it? Like architecture, like maybe you're doing something, like you're building a big building or something with landscaping and you just got the okay that you can go forward with it or something like that. Or maybe it's like a home renovation or something, but I just had to mention that because it came really, really strongly into my head. So I see union here. I see getting support or getting the green light from the authorities so that you can move forward with your endeavors. The star here, this could also be talking about, like, if you guys have an online business or you're trying to grow your online presence, I feel like this can definitely be talking about that as well. And what's going to really make you guys successful, no matter what it is that you're pursuing, is that you have, or you're being encouraged to have, this balance between intuition and thinking outside the box, while also benefiting from the tried and true methods. I feel like balancing these two energies is going to be really, really good for you. So you're not going completely off the rails, but you're also not going completely by the book. So see what from the beaten path works from you and where you want to kind of do your own thing. And that balance is going to make you really, really successful. Okay, and what numbers do we have here? I'm going to reduce any double digits. So we have the number 8 here, which talks about money, good luck in your career, good karma's coming to you, balance in your life. We have the number 4, which is you're on the right path, you're protected. And the number 5, which means change is coming. Very briefly, of course. Let's take a look at some oracle cards as well. And just see, yes, if there are any details that I've missed about this blessing, can you please show them to me through these oracle cards? Ooh, Morganite with relationship healing. Ooh, okay. So Morganite has kind of a special meaning for me. It is about relationships going closer. It is about being fulfilled in love and fulfilled in your heart, which is amazing because it matches really well with what we've seen up until now. But Morganite does kind of have a special meaning for me. And it's really interesting that the star is here, that Aquarian energy is here, because Aquarius can have that sort of black sheep energy, can have that sort of distant or detached energy. And Morganite makes me think of someone who's finally realizing that they're not so weird after all, or they're not so unacceptable after all. I guess what I mean is that maybe some of you guys have gone through your life thinking that you're just too eccentric or too unusual, and like no one's ever really gonna understand me because like I'm the misfit and everyone else is normal and acceptable, kind of an outsider feeling. And that has maybe led you to be closed off in relationships because you're like, oh, they're just going to reject me anyway, or they're not going to understand me anyway. And then when the energy of Morganite comes in, this for me is like that moment of realization that we're not so different after all. And you are inherently lovable, and you are inherently understandable, and you are inherently valuable. So some of you guys are finding your tribe, I think, with the star and the 4 of Wands. Like, you're finding your group of people who love you and see you and understand you just as you are, with all your quirks, with all of your uniqueness. And they're making you realize that you were never unlovable. You were never hard to understand. Maybe you were just in the wrong hands. And we also have diopside, I think, with Mother Earth. Very, very cool that we have pink and green stones coming out, because those are both colors that are related to the heart. And there was that message about like green being your lucky color in the coming days or in the coming weeks. So with Mother Earth here, this is making me think of grounding. And actually, maybe some of you guys are going to get to go on a bit of a getaway. Like, I see you guys walking through the woods or hiking or maybe getting to go to the water. You guys are going to have pretty soon, I would say in the next 2 or 3 months, you're going to have at least a few days where you can unplug and sort of go away from the stress and all the crap of day-to-day life and just become one with the earth and gain a little bit of perspective. Being with Mother Earth and being with nature is going to ground you. It's going to wash your stresses away and remind you that anything you're going through at the end of the day doesn't matter. And that's not to belittle what you have going on, but it's that nothing is worth robbing you of your inner peace. And connecting to nature can really, really remind us of that. Like, oh, my human problems, all of these problems are invented, all of these problems are social constructs, and Mother Earth loves you unconditionally. She doesn't care how much money you have. She doesn't care what you look like. She doesn't care how successful you are. She doesn't care what other people think of you or have said about you, who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me. She's just going to accept you with open arms because you're her baby. You're an extension of her. So you guys need that feeling of oneness. You need that feeling of coming home and of being enough just by existing. And nature can give you that. Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit more into the details of how this blessing is going to find you, what you can do to prepare for it, and how it's going to impact your life. I was thinking of doing one card for each of those things, but I feel like every time I do that, I just end up interpreting all the cards at the same time anyway. Like, I think I'm going to be very organized, like this is talking about this and this is talking about this, but it doesn't work that way. All the messages kind of blend together. So I'm just going to take a few cards and I'll make a note to address all of those things. Okay, group number 1. So the extra details that we want to see here are how, where, the circumstances of this blessing coming into your life. And we also want to know what group 1 can do to prepare and how the blessing is going to affect their life. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups, or the Page of Elixirs in this deck. Actually, did I show them close up? They're really, really pretty, so I'll just show you guys. We have the Page of Cups here. We have the Ace of Swords, the Empress, and the Ten of Wands. So with the Empress, we actually have Taurus energy again. That came through with the Hierophant too. And then we also have some Libra energy in the Empress. I just have to say, with the Empress here and with the Page of Cups, there might be a pregnancy or a birth that is coming to you guys as one of your blessings. That's definitely not going to be for everybody, but for those of you who have been trying to have a child or someone close to you, I do see a high likelihood of a pregnancy announcement. Or if you are currently pregnant or someone close to you is currently pregnant, I do see a healthy child being born. Pages are related to children. The Empress is related to fertility and motherhood. So I just had to say that. But of course, I will give an interpretation for those of you who are not expecting, like nothing to do with children. The Empress can also talk about fertility in business. So any intentions that you set and any efforts that you put in are paying off immensely. And what I'm really being called to emphasize for you guys is the effortlessness. The Empress creates from her divine source effortlessly. So for those of you guys who have really been struggling to make it, or really feeling like your progress has been slowed or your progress has been hindered, things are starting to grow effortlessly for you. And also, because we were talking about a healthy baby, maybe the healthy baby is you. So if you guys have been slowed down from your creativity, from your progress, from your productivity, because of physical health issues or mental health issues, then I do see that your health is improving. And this is going to allow you to get to do the things that you really want to do. This is going to allow you to get back to your productive schedule, to get back to your vibrant self, and for your creations to feel effortless again. I think you guys are really finding your zone, so to speak. You're finding the creative process that really gets you in the flow, or you're finding your workflow or your study flow that really, really works for you. And in the next couple months, like, pay attention to how much you're getting done and also how much your energy levels are, because I think you're going to see that you're getting more done, like more effortlessly, and you still have energy to spare. And your guides are saying this is how you are meant to feel. This is how you deserve to feel. Some of you guys are so used to fatigue and like lethargy and lack of motivation being your norm, that you really have to push yourself and really have to force yourself to get things done. But your guides are saying that you're entering into a time where it's going to be like, I feel dramatic saying easy, because usually I have to correct myself, like, oh, it's like not everything is easy, but it's really going to feel easy, especially compared to the energy that you have been in the past. Easy and fulfilling. With this elixirs, and the whole suit of cups is elixirs, so it's not specific to this card, but I felt called to talk about like some kind of supplement or something that you guys are drinking, or if you guys have changed your eating habits. I think what you have been putting into your body or not putting into your body recently is also going to play a role in this, with your fertility, in terms of your body, in terms of your productivity, however you're resonating with it. So if you guys have gone through a diet change recently, or like you've started incorporating some kind of supplement, I think that that's been really good for you. Or if you've been thinking about doing it, then this is your sign to go for it. Like if you guys have been thinking, I'm going to cut out XYZ, or I'm going to start doing XYZ for my health. And I'm not going to name specifics because every single person is different, and what one person might need to cut out to feel good, you might need to add. So I'm just not going to get into that. But if you have been thinking about cutting out or adding something like this, I think that your guides are saying this is your sign to go for it, because it's going to make you feel really, really good. With the Ace of Swords here, this can also be about mental clarity, like feeling really sharp and feeling really on your A game. I see this increased level of focus and increased level of physical energy that is coming to you guys. And actually with the Page of Cups here, again, I was interpreting this as a child, but it can be you guys feeling more youthful. Like this card says eternal youth. So some of you guys might be feeling like, oh, my aches and pains are gone and I have a spring in my step, and you're feeling like you did when you were younger. Or if you are young, you're feeling like how you think you should feel at your age. You know how young people are like, oh my God, I feel like a grandma, I'm so tired. It's like you're feeling your youth, you're feeling your vibrance, which is really, really nice. So taking care of your body is going to be very important to reap the energies that are coming to you here. With the Ace of Swords and the Page of Cups next to each other, I also think that journaling could be really, really beneficial for you guys. Again, with Ace of Swords being about mental clarity, getting clear on how you're really thinking about the situation and how you're really feeling about the situation. If journaling is not your thing, like talking to a friend on the phone or talking to someone, but I think with the Ace of Swords, you need to like see your ideas on paper or hear your ideas spoken to get a sense of how you really, really feel. Because when we're just feeling them on the inside, like our subconscious mind doesn't really put things into language. So we're just dealing with abstract emotions, abstract images. But I was going to say when you force yourself, don't force yourself. Well, maybe, but when you make an effort to put it into language, like obviously you're going to understand better how you're feeling. So journaling about your feelings is really important, and also about your progress. Like, write down your accomplishments of the day. Write down something you did that you're proud of. Like, if you are, I don't know, let's say you're cutting out sugar. And again, I'm not saying that you should do that. It's just an example. But maybe you write down, like, today I went the whole day without sugar and I didn't crave it and I felt a lot more energy. Or today I did my first exercise without stopping, or I wrote a whole chapter of my book and I feel really good about it. Whatever it is that you're working on. But your guides want to write these things down because a lot of the time we forget how far we've come. I just had this moment yesterday where I was looking at something from a year ago and I was like, whoa, I've really changed since then. But it was a good realization and I didn't realize. So write down your little, no matter how small they are, write down your little accomplishments in your day-to-day life, because when you look back and see, whoa, back then I was celebrating about that, but now that's like every day for me. That's my everyday reality. It makes you feel positive reinforcement and it makes you want to keep going. So, the energies around you right now are really, really favorable for your success and prosperity. But these are the things that you can do, like in your day-to-day life and in your day-to-day habits, to positively reinforce that energy and to keep it going for a long time. So we have share your thoughts and your feelings, whether that's journaling, talking to your friends, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, and then we do have the 10 of Wands here. This is a card that kind of warns about overworking yourself. And, okay, so maybe some of you guys, and I think this is kind of common, so there's nothing wrong, there's no judgment, but some of you guys might feel like a little bit of guilt when it comes to rest, or be a little bit too hard on yourself. And I think I really get it for this group. Like, if you're coming from a place of feeling unmotivated and lacking productivity, you can feel really, really guilty when you're in that kind of funk. So, as you start to get into a more productive version of yourself, maybe there's a part of you that is still kind of associating rest with your olden days, like with your old phase where you were unmotivated, where you were not productive, and you're kind of scared, like, I don't want to slip into that again. If I take a day off, it might turn into a week off. It's like you're kind of worried about slipping back to your old ways. But it's important to remember that rest is really, really important. And there's actually an emphasis with this card, like, if you work yourself too much, you risk getting sick, or you risk having some health problems. So just remember that, working hard, eating well, exercising, all of that is really important for your health, but sleep is also incredibly, incredibly important for your physical health as well as your mental health. I'm someone who struggles with anxiety, and it's like 100 times worse if I don't sleep enough. And then if I'm getting good sleep, I feel so much better. I think that's like the biggest factor for me. Rest and sleep is really important. And also, if you guys are exercising, rest is very, very important too. You should definitely take rest days. But this can also talk about keeping your mental burdens to yourself. And there was an importance of talking to your friends more, or leaning on your friends more, who are around you or will be around you very soon. But you shouldn't be carrying your emotional burdens all by yourself either. So it's this idea of you're not alone. It's this idea of don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to receive help. I definitely think that you guys are getting help in your professional endeavors. Like, someone big, that's the way it's coming to me. Like, someone bigger than you is coming to lend their strength to you. Like someone with more resources or more authority, or a big company, or something like that. As for how this is going to come to you, I realize that I realize that I haven't really spoken about that yet, but we do have the Ace of Swords here, which usually talks about breakthroughs in communication or communications coming in, and it has a very fast energy to it as well. So I think that you guys are probably like, you are suddenly going to get an email that you've been waiting for, suddenly going to get a message, or if this involves a union with a person, they're kind of going to suddenly break it to you unexpectedly. The Page of Cups is giving me this kind of naive energy. It's like a little naive soul going with the flow, like da, 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 just enjoying my day, and then boom, this sudden message comes in. So it feels like a breakthrough. It feels like you guys are not going to expect it. Yeah, it's in the form of some kind of communication. And we've spoken about, yeah, okay, good. We've spoken about how to prepare for it. We've spoken about how you guys are going to feel, how this is going to change your life. So good. I wanted to make sure that I got everything. So we have one last oracle deck to look at here for any other messages and advice that your guides want to give you. Okay, so we have breathe. This moment matters most. How can you focus on the moment and appreciate all that is well? So we have another message about grounding yourself, about coming back to the present moment, about breathing. This is reminding me of the Mother Earth. I think a lot of you guys will benefit from being out in nature. And again, it's that feeling of realizing this is all that matters. All that matters is this moment right here, right now. All that matters is this connection to the earth that I'm feeling and the oneness that I'm feeling right now. We also have the number 13 here. This is actually, if you add it up, it adds up to the number 4, which is, again, you are loved, you are protected, you are on the right path. And it's also associated with the Death card. And I think that connecting with nature could help you guys to have, it's like a little bit of an ego death, if that makes sense. You can kind of shed the skin of your ego and just be a being of love. And little moments like that are really important. Some of you guys are being encouraged to get plants in your house or to build a little garden if you have a yard. There's something about incorporating nature like into your home or into your immediate surroundings. Okay, we also have rest, renew, recharge. What does your body crave and need right now? So another card that is talking about the importance of rest. Yeah, I think you guys are getting the opportunity to go on a little vacation soon. Like you're gonna have maybe a long weekend or even longer vacation or a few days off. And Spirit is saying, if you can, don't spend this time at home. Don't spend this time on your devices. Spend it like away from your day-to-day routine, away from the stuff you're used to, away from your job and responsibilities. Like get outside, stargaze, look at the clouds, smell the flowers, touch the trees. Remember what really matters. And then finally, you can make it through. Your higher self is always guiding you. What wisdom does your higher self have for you? So resting, recharging, clearing your mind, it's really, really going to open up the channel of communication with your higher self. Some of you guys might want to take, like I just had a vision of you guys like going out to a setting in nature and you brought your sketchbook or you brought a journal or you brought a canvas and you're taking inspiration from nature, and as you go you're getting messages from the divine, you're getting messages from your higher self. For those of you who are artists, whether that's like a painter or a photographer or whatever it might be, nature could be a really, really big inspiration for you guys as well. like landscapes, flowers, plants, animals, or you'll be really successful if you pursue something in that field. Like maybe you're a photographer and then your photographs of animals and nature does really, really well, or your paintings of flowers do really, really well, or something like that. Also could be, you know, the starry sky and space and planets and things like that. I would say that's also nature, right? That's organic matter. So something related to the stars and the celestial bodies could bring you guys a lot of success as well. Also, this image is at the bottom of the deck, so maybe some of you guys are astral projecting. I just thought I would throw that out there. But yes, group number 1, these are all the messages I'm seeing for you. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you guys are interested in listening to that one or any of my other songs, there will be a link to that channel down below too. Sending you guys lots of love, sending your spirit guides lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the Pyrite and Calcite, this is going to be a reading all about your next big blessing. So we are going to get right into it and see what this blessing is. Okay, group number 2. What is, wow, that came out really, really quickly. We have, oh my gosh, 6 of emotions or 6 of cups. And then let's get one more. We also have the 8 of emotions or the 8 of cups. Oh, that's interesting how those go together. There's just a couple things I want to mention. First of all, how fast these cards were coming out. Generally, when cards shoot out really, really quickly like this means that your spirit guides are very excited for you, or that the energy surrounding this situation is very positive. And it can also have something to do with the certainty of the message. Like this is something that is really, really sure to happen. And it can also indicate like literally it's happening fast, it's happening soon. I should also mention that I just saw 111, so this is just overflowing with new beginnings, and I'll get into that in a second. But the other thing I wanted to mention that was kind of cool is sometimes before I'm filming, I am, visualizing myself filming in my mind's eye. And there's certain cards that I will see coming up, and the 6 of Cups was actually one of them, which is really cool. I imagine myself filming for group 2 and the 6 of Cups came out, and I was like thinking about what I would say if that card appeared. But I actually don't think I'm gonna say what I thought I would say when this card appeared, because the 8 of Cups is definitely giving it a different meaning. I think it's really cool that I saw the number 111, and then we have this image here which looks a lot like a new moon, or even like a new moon eclipse. This means that powerful change is coming to you guys, a powerful new beginning. Now the 6 of Cups here, this talks about our childhood, as you can literally see here. This is probably like her as a kid, past memories, an area, an environment in which we are familiar. And then the 8 of Cups talks about walking away. So this blessing is an opportunity that is coming to you guys, but that will involve you or require you to step away from your familiar environment. So some of you guys who chose this group, you may actually be leaving your hometown for the first time, or moving out of your hometown for the first time, or others of you guys are maybe receiving a work opportunity or a studies opportunity that is requiring you to leave behind your home, or like where you have built up your home for some time. Now, this is very, very exciting. I know that your spirit guides are super excited for you because of the energy I was feeling right at the beginning and how quickly these cards came out. But if you look at the image on the Six of Cups, it does look a little bit bittersweet. I imagine that, you know, she's holding her past self, her child self, and reminiscing. There's a feeling of nostalgia and almost a feeling of being sad to say goodbye. You know, like, I'm leaving my past self behind. I'm leaving my past situation behind. This is giving me vibes of graduation. Like, for example, when you graduate high school and you're excited for the next chapter, maybe you're going off to university, or you're going off to start working, or maybe you're taking a gap year and traveling. And so that's really, really exciting. But at the same time, you're saying goodbye to your friends that you saw every day. And you're, you know, walking down the hallway and thinking, I'm never going to walk down these halls again. I'm never going to walk down this street again. And so there's something very bittersweet in that goodbye, even though you're happy for what's to come. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm feeling for you guys. Many of you guys are like physically leaving your house, leaving your home, leaving your town, or maybe you are leaving a company behind, or leaving your friends behind, and sort of venturing off into the unknown. And what's very interesting about this Eight of Cups, on the Rider-Waite, for example, and on many other decks, you guys might know that there are usually cups in this card because it's a cups card and the cups are empty, and that's why the person is walking away. So we have this feeling of, okay, this person's current situation is not fulfilling them anymore, and so they're venturing off to find something new that is going to bring a deeper meaning to their life. But we don't see any empty cups here. We don't see any cups at all. So for many of you, I think what is making this transition so difficult or so bittersweet is that it's not even that there was nothing for you in your current situation. So for example, let's say you are getting transferred, or you're getting a promotion and you're moving to a new place. It's sad because you actually really liked the place that you were currently in. You really liked the people that you worked with, or you really liked your job, but there's just something that is calling you now, calling you to step up, calling you to something greater. And I think that there's a lot of unknowns in this new chapter as well. Like this blackness, this darkness of the new moon, it is making me think of the unknown. You're venturing off by yourself, and it can be a little bit scary. And so I think for you guys, this reading is actually a reassurance that whatever transition you're going through, or whatever opportunity has been offered to you, it is a blessing. You are being encouraged to go for it. Like I said, your guides are very, very excited for you. And yes, it might be sad to leave the old chapter behind, but this is a part of life. Life is bittersweet like that. And I think you've reached a point in your life where it's time to step out of your comfort zone, and it's time to challenge yourself to grow more. I feel like some of you guys, maybe you're starting to get, it's like too comfortable in your current environment. Your current environment might be sweet and familiar and nice, but your guides are saying that it's not really contributing to your growth anymore, or you have the potential to grow so much more and evolve so much more and reach much higher heights. But you need to push yourself a little bit. You need to do something that scares you a little bit. You need to go out there into the world. Ooh, this is really cool. So I'm going to take a couple oracle cards as well. And my intention for these is that if there are any details I missed here with regards to your blessing, this is where your spirit guides will fill me in. Oh, I should say, because both of these are water energy, water signs might be significant for you guys. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or the season of summer might be significant. Whenever summer happens to be where you are in the world. We have rhodochrosite with acceptance. And we have Shadowkite with teacher. Okay, so I'm going to start here with rhodochrosite and acceptance. this card just immediately makes me think of love. Like rhodochrosite for me is a love stone. And I think that in this new chapter, a lot of you guys would be separating from people you love. Like you can't see the ones you love as often, or you're going to be physically distant from them in some way. And this card is coming out to let you know that they support you and that they're so proud of you. And there's a very specific message that's coming through for some of you guys, that you might be in a long distance relationship, or you're in a relationship that is going to be long distance as a result of you taking this opportunity, as a result of you moving on. And I don't know, it's almost like at this time, you guys don't really feel like this is a blessing, or maybe deep down you know it's a blessing, but your mind is very, very scared. And so even though this is supposed to be about a blessing coming to you, you might be feeling stress, you might be feeling nervous, you might be feeling worried if you're making the right choice. I also want to mention that rhodochrosite reminds me of angelic love. So I do think that you guys are fully supported, fully protected, and fully divinely guided in this journey. I want you to know that your loved ones are so proud of you, and that any relationships you hold close to your heart right now, they're going to be with you through and through until the end. If you are leaving behind some friends or a partner or a love interest, I'm actually getting very strong soulmate energy with these cards, because the Six of Cups talks about a deep familiarity. It can talk about past lives as well. And then we have this angelic or divine nature of the rhodochrosite. So it's almost saying like you guys are meant to be in each other's lives, and this is also meant to happen. This is written into your story together. And I want you guys to know that nothing could ever mess with your bond. Nothing could ever weaken your bond. You are always going to have this love with you. And even when you feel alone, or even when you feel scared, this love is always going to guide you. And I really like that the new moon has the pink glow around it, as if, yes, you may be diving into the unknown, but you're always going to have this ring of love and protection around you from your angels and from the higher selves of those who love you and who are with you in this lifetime. We also have Shannon with teacher. Some of you guys might be a teacher, or this might be a study opportunity that you guys are taking. But I'm also thinking of this just in the more metaphorical sense, that this next chapter of your life is going to teach you a lot of lessons about life. It's going to teach you a lot about yourself. There's a part of you that hasn't been explored yet. Like there is some talent of yours that hasn't been explored yet, or just a part of your personality that you haven't become acquainted with yet. And I think maybe you guys have an attachment to the person you are now, if that makes sense. Like throughout your life, you've always seen yourself as, I'm this kind of person. This is how I behave. This is what I like. This is what I want. And, you know, really, really hold that identity close to you. But I think this next chapter of your life, you're undergoing a lot of changes, and you're learning a lot of things about yourself that you didn't realize were a part of you. And your guides are encouraging you not to put yourself in a box, or not to decide too quickly or too firmly who you are. Because I think you're going to surprise yourself with the ways in which you change and grow in this next chapter. But what's so beautiful about that is, like, no matter how much you are growing or evolving or transitioning, you guys have this beautiful constant love in your life. Like the friends that you currently have, the partners or the love interests or the family that you already have, these people are going to stay with you throughout this journey. So if you guys were afraid of losing someone or drifting apart from someone as a result of taking this opportunity, I have to tell you that that's not going to happen. They love you and they're going to stay with you. And you've found this person for a reason. Whether it's your best friend in the world or whether it's just like a crush, I don't care. They're your Six of Cups and they're going to stay with you, and your bond is not going anywhere. Also, this kind of looks like the planet Earth to me. So maybe this is an indicator that you guys are you know, traveling kind of far away. Maybe you're moving to another country or something like that. But let's go on to the next part of the reading. We're going to get more details about how this blessing is going to find you. Although for some of you, I feel like it already has found you and you're just debating about whether you should go for it. But yeah, we're going to see how this blessing might find you, what you can do to prepare for it, and what was the other thing? Oh yes, how it's going to impact your life. Okay, so we have the Queen of Blades, or the Queen of Swords. We have the Ten of Blades, or the Ten of Swords. Some of you guys may be having trouble sleeping recently, or maybe you've been having headaches. I think it's also really interesting that there's so many little white flowers in these cards, because that's something that we would normally see on the Six of Cups. I think some of you guys are romanticizing the past or holding on to the past. Okay, this is only going to be for some of you guys, but you see how this kid looks like a pilot? So I'm kind of imagining this person, maybe when they were a kid, they dreamed of being a pilot, and then they became an adult and life happened and different things happened, and now they're being offered this huge opportunity in something else. And there's still a little part of them that has this feeling of like what could have been, this feeling of unfinished business. Like there's a part of them that still wants to resolve this dream of becoming a pilot, if that makes sense. Like maybe this opportunity is to, I don't know, go and study art in Italy or something like that. And then there's still that little part of them that's like, what if I had stayed? What if I had stayed in my town? And what if I had gone to pilot school? You know, like some old dream that this person cannot let go of, and they're really, really beating themselves up over it. It's like this person cannot let go of the past, even if they're being called to bigger and better things. I'm not saying art is better than pilot. It's just an example. They're being called to bigger and better things. They're being called to new things. But it's like this person is hung up on something that didn't fall through. This could even be like, it could even be a relationship. Like, what if I stayed here? Then this relationship could have turned out differently or something like that. And there's a need to let go of what could have, should have, would have been, and know that the people who are meant to be in your life are going to stay in your life no matter what you do, no matter where you go. And it's really time for you guys to embrace the new. It's time for you to let go of the could have, would haves, and embrace the new. The Ten of Swords is about endings. It's about putting something to rest. It's about letting something die, allowing yourself to stop mentally torturing yourself over the past and to let a new day begin. So in order to prepare for this blessing, some of you guys really need to like cut ties with your past, like say goodbye to it. Some of you guys might need closure about some things as well. We have the Hermit, so there is some Virgo energy present here. For some of you guys, this is time sensitive, because when I look at this candle on the Hermit's head, I'm thinking like the candle is burning and it's going down and down and down. Oh, and there's more white flowers. And there's only a matter of time before the candle's gonna burn out. Maybe like, hit this person's head. So you guys, it looks like you're really, really worried. This is a time sensitive thing. You have to decide if you're gonna stay or if you're gonna go, and you feel that pressure. I know it's kind of ironic because I'm sitting here like giving you guys a reading and giving you guys advice, but when the Hermit appears in a reading, this really, really tells me that the decision does have to come from you. Because I feel like the more you ask for people's advice, the more confusing it's going to be, the more you're going to have a headache. And these Swords cards have been so interesting using this deck, because I think it's the King of Swords where the blade is going horizontally, so it has more of a in one ear out the other kind of vibe to it, like I'm not listening to you. But this one, it's like cutting up in the person's head, and so this is giving me more a feeling of like, I have a headache, like it's too much pressure, I'm in pain. And Ten of Swords gives me that feeling as well, being overwhelmed by advice, being overwhelmed by people's thoughts and words, because I feel like you could ask 10 different people what you should do, and 10 different people will say 10 different things, because they don't know you. They don't know your life the way you do. They don't know what's best for you the way you do. And they're probably just projecting like what they would do in the situation or what they think. You know what I mean? I hope that that makes sense. But the Hermit tells me that deep down, your inner compass is the most accurate. And with all of this emotions, with all of this intuitive energy, it looks like your heart and your intuition is going to show you the way, and your mind and your thoughts are going to confuse you and give you a headache. But the Hermit, like, it's been really having this meaning for me, especially recently, when it comes time to make a decision, when it comes time to act, it needs to be your idea. It needs to be your decision. And many times it's like, this is a decision that you will make in solitude, without external influences, without any external advice. Like, this is the lone wolf. This is the independent, wise soul who knows where he's going. Like, it's gotta be you. That's how I could say it. It's gotta be you who makes this decision. But my advice that I could give you is, if you get closure on your past, and if you say goodbye to the things you need to say goodbye to, like if you get the resolution and you're able to release them, you might look at this situation differently. Let's see. I think I'm going to take 2 more for you guys. How is this going to find you, and how is this going to affect your life? We have even more swords. We have the 9 of Swords. So you guys are, and the Hierophant. Okay, so interesting, because the Hierophant is also a teacher. So there's a lot of messages about, maybe many of you guys, it is like you're going to study somewhere, or you're changing your field of study, or you're going to become a teacher, or maybe you're going to become a counselor of some kind, or maybe you're pursuing a spiritual career as well. But yes, you're getting an offer from some establishment, from some company, from some school, from some institution. And maybe it's a little bit daunting. Maybe you're a little bit intimidated by this being or by this organization. But with the 9 of Swords here, it really looks like you guys are expecting the worst. Like, it's so interesting. It looks like your comfort zone in your past is all these, pretty white flowers. And then you think that the unknown is going to be, like, the worst is going to happen. You think you're going to fail. You think you're going to regret it. You think it's going to be the end of the world. The 9 of Swords kind of reminds me of, I think catastrophizing is the word, where you just expect the worst case scenario in everything. But the 9 of Swords really tells us that the reality is nowhere near what you are thinking. In fact, the reality is probably very, very positive, but because you're getting in your head and because you're overthinking it, your brain is making up all of these wild stories of like the worst possible thing that could happen. It's funny that I had a feeling you guys might be not sleeping well, because that's literally what the 9 of Swords is about, like sleepless nights, or having trouble sleeping, or having bad dreams. there's a lot of fear, I think, when it comes to going out of your comfort zone and stepping into the unknown. And I would maybe like ask your angels to help you become okay with the unknown, or to help you find peace in the unknown. Because the unknown could be the best thing you've ever experienced. The unknown could be your wildest dreams coming true and discovering dreams you didn't even know you had. And so the really important reflection is, why do I default to the bad thing when I don't know something? Why do I assume it's going to be the bad thing? This is kind of reminding me of, some of you guys might benefit from cognitive behavioral therapy, which I think is the idea of like regulating how you react to the situation. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, and if someone knows better than me, please leave a comment, because I'm not saying I'm an authority on this, but like regulating how you react in a situation. At the end of the day, anything that happens outside of us, we can only assume. Like, we can only assume what people's intentions are, or we can only assume how a situation is going to unfold. So we have the power to choose what we assume and to choose how we react. Probably someone can explain it a lot better than me, but it's examining the habits of your mind. And, you know, why do I get myself in this cycle where I assume the worst is going to happen, and then I talk myself out of making changes, I talk myself out of taking actions, and it's not, the most important thing is about what is beneficial for me to believe, what is beneficial for me to think. Because it's not healthy to assume the worst. Like, what is going to happen in your future aside, assuming the worst in any situation is not constructive, it's not beneficial, it's not healthy. I think that's something that could really benefit you guys if you look into it. And now that I'm thinking about it, the Hierophant, you know, it can talk about teachers and mentors. It can also talk about like therapists and counselors and things of that nature. So if you guys do feel like seeking more help for your mental processes, that could be something that's really good as well, to help you get more comfortable with the idea of the unknown, with the idea of moving on from your past, with the idea of unfinished business in your life. Seeking help could be really, really beneficial for you guys. Or if you're already doing that, then I definitely think that your guides are happy about that. But this opportunity is going to bring so much excitement to your life. And in many ways, the old you will be disappearing and you'll be becoming a new you. But what won't change is the stuff that really matters. What won't change is the love that you have for yourself, and the love that you have for your loved ones, and the love that they have for you. Those connections are not going to change. But I think that your personality might change. I think that your preferences might change. Your desires, your goals and ambitions might change. There's a whole new you that is out there waiting. Like, your future butterfly self is waiting for you. And it's time for your little caterpillar self to inch towards it. And it's scary. It is scary. But I think the new you is going to be more carefree. I think the new you is going to have more of a zest for life, is going to be more adventurous, is going to be more confident. What does this card say that just fell out? You are the truth seeker, awakening, actualizing, transcending. How can you invite more grace to guide you? There are, I would say, a score of angels who are wanting to help you right now if you will accept their help. Maybe this acceptance is them saying, like, please accept our help. We want to help you through this transition. They will help you to let go of the past and to welcome this new beginning. I also want to mention that the number 39, this would reduce to 3. That is a number that talks about expansion, growth, manifestation, fulfillment. It's reminding me of the World card, which match well with this image. Your world is expanding. A lot of you guys are traveling, meeting new people, exploring different connections. And the number 3 also reminds me of the Empress, which is like abundance, prosperity, fertility, effortless manifestation. I think you guys are really, really gonna like the new you, or you're really, really gonna like the future you. And it's like you're standing up the future you for some, and it sounds harsh, but from some dead things from the past, because you want to like hold on to them. And the new you is like standing there with their watch, like, are they coming? Did they forget about me? Like you stood up your date or something. I just got that visual. Okay, so we have the number 41. So this is, again, you're loved, you're protected. The numbers 1 and 4 speak of angels for me when they appear together. But recently, I've also been reading it as awakening your masculine energy. Gratitude is the life force of peace. What are you thankful for? I'm telling you, this is a blessing, maybe a blessing in disguise right now, but it is going to be so worth it. If you trust in your divine guidance and you take action, it is going to be so worth it. And I think you're going to be so grateful to yourself that you allowed yourself to grow and expand and move on. Also, pink flowers or pink roses might be significant. For some of you guys, this could be a generational thing. Like, you might come from a line of people who have been afraid to leave their town or afraid to leave their comfort zone, or who have prioritized other things over their self-actualization. You might come from this lineage of staying in a box, and you might be breaking this pattern. Oh, and we have another number 3. So we have Empress energy here. We have Emperor energy here. We have such abundant energy. You cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. Where is your heart guiding you? I feel like so many of you are worried about making the wrong decision or about regretting your decision. I love this card. You cannot go wrong. You cannot make a mistake. As long as at the end of the day, you know that you did what was in your heart, and you followed your joy and you followed your passion, you cannot go wrong. And this is reminding me of, I think it was a post that my friend shared ages ago, but it always stays with me. When we're struggling to make a decision, we're often assuming that the universe is going to reward us for one choice and punish us for the other choice. But we have to remember that our relationship with the universe is like, it's interactive, and the universe wants to bring us our joy. So it's like the universe responds to you. If you choose to go this way, then the universe will adapt to that choice and will find a way to bring you your blessings and happiness here. So that might be another thing that's important for you guys to reflect on. Like, am I making the decision that I'm making because I'm afraid that things are going to go wrong? So for example, I'm not choosing path A because I like path A. I'm choosing path A because I'm afraid of what's going to happen if I choose path B. Maybe look at your thought process and see if you're not doing something like that. Because the idea here is you want to ask yourself, what path would I choose if I knew that I was going to be blessed? What path would I choose if I knew that the unknowns held so much joy in them? If I knew that the unknowns held something amazing, which path would I choose? Maybe you guys will find deep down I really wanted path B, but I was just afraid that things were going to go wrong, and I knew that path A was going to be easy. But if you know that any path you choose has blessings, what does your heart really want to do then? I think that might be the key for you guys. But yes, these are all the messages that I'm seeing for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you guys are interested in listening to that song or any of my other ones, there will be a link to that channel down below as well. I'm sending you lots of love, much love to your loved ones and to your angels as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the pink calcite, this is going to be a reading all about your next big blessing. So let's just go ahead and get right into it and figure out what this blessing is. All right, group number 3. What is the next big blessing that is coming into their life? Okay, we have 2 cards coming out at the same time. We have the Hanged Muse and the 7 of Inspiration, which is the 7 of Wands. This is something you guys have been waiting on for quite some time, and that's been kind of tough. And we also have the 6 of Inspiration, or the 6 of Wands. Okay, I'm going to start off with this energy because I've already kind of started to talk about it. And it's kind of funny to see these cards come out because I was already thinking of relaying a similar message to you guys just because of the way the deck was behaving when I was shuffling the cards. It felt kind of hesitant. It felt kind of messy. And I had these thoughts running through my head, like, should I just give up? Should I try something different? Should I do something else? Should I just like take my losses and move on? Like those kind of doubtful thoughts were running through my mind. And then the Hanged Man and the 7 of Wands came out, which I feel like totally, depicts the emotion that I was feeling. So like I mentioned before, the Hanged Man, or the Hanged Muse as it's called in this deck, many of you guys might be creative people, by the way, but it's this feeling of being stuck. It's this feeling of a situation that is not moving forward. And very often it has to do with some kind of greater divine plan that we cannot see. So, things might be falling through, things might not be progressing in the way that we're expecting because something else, something bigger and better is being prepared for us behind the scenes that we just cannot see yet. And needless to say, that can be a very, very frustrating energy to be in because you want things to go a certain way, you want your successes to come, or you want your manifestations to come, but what's happening in the 3D to you from your perspective looks nothing like that. So the Hanged Man can definitely be a frustrating energy, and especially it has this feeling of actions that you're taking to try to help the situation or to try to move the situation forward or to try to make things happen faster. It's almost like they're futile, and sometimes I think it's really felt like the universe was against you. It's like, universe, do you want to bring me this or not? Do you want my manifestation to come true or not? I feel a kind of frustration and sometimes even exasperation coming from this group. So some of you guys, like, you've been waiting for months for this blessing. Some of you guys have been waiting for years, and the 7 of Wands, it is about a difficult situation, but it's this feeling of fighting. It's this feeling of resistance. Like, I'm trying so hard. I'm trying to stay hopeful. I'm trying to take action when I can, but this just doesn't seem to be moving forward. And like I said, I think you guys have had doubts of like, is this really my path? Is this really the path that I'm supposed to stay on? Or should I just move on to something else? And that is really, honestly, that feels really sad for me because I think that this blessing that's coming to you is something that you're very, very passionate about. And so it's sad to see like your hopes being beaten down or wearing thin because you don't see your efforts paying off, or, it's taking a lot of time. And it's like this thing that you were so passionate about maybe had started to dwindle. Now, moving on to the 6 of Wands, I will say this is some sort of victory that is coming for you. For a lot of you guys, this was about recognition. So, you kept applying for positions and you weren't getting them, or you kept putting your work out there, or you kept putting your art out there. Because like I said, I feel like a lot of you guys are creative. You kept putting out your proposals, your creations, your ideas, and it's like, they either kept getting knocked down, like you kept getting no's, or like you would put your stuff out there and just crickets. I could also think of this as like an artist who is trying to get recognition, who maybe wants to, you know, have some fame or wants their works to be celebrated, wants to make a living out of their works. And they're trying to promote themselves and they're trying to get gigs and they're trying to network, and it's just like not happening. Every opportunity they're exploring is just not happening. And I feel this frustration, like the universe has told me to take action and has told me to try many different ways and to stay open. And I've been trying to do that. And like every single thing I try to do, nothing's happening. Like what? And I literally feel like this, what the fuck is going on kind of energy. You've been waiting for your break. You've been waiting for your moment to shine. You've been waiting for your recognition. And this is the blessing, the next blessing that is entering into your life very soon. Okay, so I'm going to move into the next oracle deck, and my intention for this deck is if there's any details or any extra information about your blessing that I missed in my interpretation of the tarot cards, your spirit guides can fill in the blanks here. And I also just wanted to mention, I just looked up at the camera and it said 5:55, so that means big change is coming in your life. And actually, something that I should have mentioned or that I should have emphasized more, I'm going to take this one, is that there has been a divine plan to this whole journey. I think that whatever you guys are pursuing is something that you were destined to have. I do think that you guys are destined to be well-known, celebrated, successful, and recognized for your efforts. Many of you guys are destined to be a leader of some sorts with the Six of Wands, or a pioneer. Like you're a leader in your field, or you're one of the groundbreaking game changers in your field. And I think a lot of people are going to be inspired by you, or already are inspired by you, and a lot of people are going to emulate you. Like they want to be like you. And it's interesting how this has come out, because this is the victorious Six of Wands person, and all of this yucky like Hanged Man, Seven of Wands energy is behind them. So you're stepping into this position of victory and of power, but you never forget where you came from. You have this tough past behind you. And whether people see this past or not is up to you, but I think it could be really, really inspiring if you do share about this past, because there's probably a lot of people who need to hear this and who need to see your success story. Like, if you were willing to share, I doubted the universe, I doubted my journey, I doubted if this was the path for me, I was frustrated, I felt like giving up sometimes, I felt hopeless sometimes, and look at me now. Like, I know that's a very vulnerable thing to share, but that could be really, really powerful for some people to hear. But you're definitely going to be very, very highly admired in whatever you're doing. Yeah, many of you guys are going to be like an influential artist or an influential business person, or honestly, whatever you're doing. You're a leader in your field, and your work and your ideas are being recognized, celebrated. And I do think this is going to propel you into some level of fame. It could be on a small scale, it could be on a very large scale. That will probably depend on what field you're in and what your goals are. But I do see you guys becoming renowned, and I do see your platform and, the number of people that your voice can reach is really, really growing. So I feel like your opportunity is already set up for you. It's already been orchestrated for you. And anything that has fallen through along the way, any rejections that you received, or just, things that haven't panned out, that was definitely the divine just protecting you, redirecting you, making sure that you were going to be free and available for your big divine blessing. So let's take a look at this oracle card that fell out, Inner Child. So this could be something that you guys were passionate about since you were a child, and this is maybe for a smaller group of you, and this may be kind of a hard message to hear, but this cycle that you guys have been through of repeated rejection and feeling kind of powerless, maybe it's been extra hard for you because it mirrors painful experiences that you've had in your childhood. And I think a lot of this journey of you guys finding your power, of you guys finding your voice and learning to trust your journey again, that's healing your inner child in a lot of ways, because it's almost like you can go back to your child self and tell them that they were capable all along. Tell them that they were powerful, that they were worthy, that they were talented, that their voice deserved to be heard all along. We also have Boji stones with balance. Right away, this is making me think of the dance with the universe, which I feel like I talk about quite a bit. But, you know, there's this very fine balance that we strike between pushing for things to happen and taking action, but also knowing when to surrender and knowing when to be patient. And I think there's no exact formula for it. It's something that you really have to feel your way through. It's something that you really have to keep checking in with your inner guidance for. But when you find that balance, nothing can fuck with you. nothing can shake you. The black color of this card, it's like you're grounded, you're protected, you're strong. And I think, you know, with the number 6 being about balance and representing your victory, you guys are really finding that balance. We also have the number 7, which makes me think of good luck and miracles. And then the Hanged Man is a number 3 card, which is about manifestation and expansion. You guys are, yeah, like you're becoming popular, celebrated, famous, recognized, whatever matches for your situation. But let's get into some more details now. Because we want to see, it's the 3rd time I've done this, we want to see how this blessing is coming to you, what you can do to prepare for it, and how it's going to impact your life. And basically for this part of the reading, I think I'm just going to keep pulling cards until I have covered all of that information. Okay, for group number 3, the first thing we want to see, I forget how I'm doing this part, whatever. I'm just gonna pull cards and interpret them, and then I'll make sure that I hit all of those points. How the blessing is coming, what you can do to prepare for it, how it's going to impact your life. We have Temperance here. This makes a lot of sense. Sagittarius energy could be significant for you guys, or sometimes when the Temperance card comes out, it tells me that like this blessing is going to be coming by the end of the year. Like whatever year you guys are watching in, by the end of this year, your blessing would come to you. But this is definitely advice for you guys to keep going on your path leading up to this blessing. Temperance is about self-moderation, self-regulation, self-restraint. You can see the hands around the brain. Like this person has control over their brain, over their mindset, over the fluctuation of their emotions. And it's about striking a moderate balance within yourself. So with Temperance, the visual of a pendulum often comes to my mind, like a pendulum that is swinging very violently back and forth, and we want to get it centered again. So someone who is a violent pendulum, when something good happens, or when it seems like something good is about to happen, they're going to go way, way, way up and be over the moon. And then when there's a little disappointment or at the slightest sign of something going wrong, they are going to crash. And when you go through life like that, it's very, very exhausting because everything is just like up, down, up, down, up, down. So what Temperance encourages us to do is to find that chill middle ground where we're not like freaking out and celebrating at the tiniest sign of good luck, and we're also not like sobbing and giving up at the tiniest sign of bad luck. And it's so funny because I just looked up and I saw 1414 on the camera, which actually reduces to 5, and I saw 555 before, but Temperance is number 14 as well. So maybe the Temperance message is just really, really important for you guys. And I'll give an example. Like, let's say someone who is trying to become famous, because that's just what the Six of Wands makes me think of, like an actor, an aspiring actor who is trying to get their big break. So, this person who is so desperate or really, really longing to make this dream a reality, imagine if every single time they land an audition, they're freaking out like, oh my God, this could be it, this could be it. And they work themselves up so much and they get their hopes up so much. Like, is this it? Is this the opportunity that the universe was sending my way? Is this my big break? Is this my destined journey? And they start flying up. And then if the audition doesn't go well, they're gonna fall from this really, really, really high place and crash, and it's gonna hurt like a bitch. And then they're gonna be discouraged from moving forward. So, you know, it's a long journey. I don't know how many auditions the average actor needs to go to before they find their big break. I know that as on YouTube, I know it's like a shit ton of videos that the average person has to post before they start to gain traction. But I do think that it's a long journey, and that's normal. That's just a part of it. But I think what Spirit is asking you, or yeah, that's why balance is here. Sorry, I totally didn't realize because I was so focused on temperance. But Spirit is encouraging you to try to get to this place where you don't put so much emotional investment into the highs and lows, and stay in a balanced place, or stay in a neutral place. So yeah, if you get an audition in the actor example, or if it looks like you might get an opportunity, like, oh, that's nice, but just suspend your emotional reaction if you can. Like, try not to get your hopes up too much, and say, okay, I'm gonna go to this audition, I'm gonna do my best, I'm gonna see how it goes, but if I don't get the part, that's okay, because there's gonna be another one. So it's about not putting all of your eggs in the basket that is this audition. And I see the same thing, like I've seen people do the same thing when they're trying to meet their soulmate. Like, every person that they meet on Tinder, they're like, is this my soulmate? Is this the one I'm gonna marry? And they put so much hopes and expectation on it. And then when the person ghosts them, or when the date doesn't go well, it's like the end of the world. And they're like, why is it so hard for me? And it's because of all of this emotional investment that you put on every little thing. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm like calling out some people or coming across as harsh, but it's gonna make your life so much easier if you can just take things neutrally and go into that date like, this person seems nice, I'll see what it's all about. And you know, if the date goes well, it goes well, and if it doesn't, that's okay. Like, this is the kind of mentality I think that Spirit is encouraging you guys to get to. But yes, this is the journey that you're on. I feel like it's one that statistically requires patience. It's one that statistically is hard to be successful in, and it does take resilience. That's why I think many of you guys, it's like you're aiming to make it big, and it's not for the faint of heart. And anything in the arts, or I mean, that's really the only field I'm super familiar with, but like, if you're a model, if you're a musician, if you're an actor, if you're an author, I feel like that's a road of so much rejection and trials and errors, and you really, really need to be resilient. And it's also important to remember that just because you're experiencing these rejections or experiencing these pitfalls, it doesn't mean that you're not divinely guided. It doesn't mean that this isn't your destiny. And these rejections are actually probably in your way to be character builders for you. And every single one is an experience. And just going back to the actor and the audition example, like, if we only have the end goal in mind of getting the part and of having our big break, we could be missing out on the other lessons and experiences that Spirit was trying to offer us. Maybe you go to an audition and you don't get the part, but you meet someone who ends up being your best friend. Or maybe the casting director or whatever gives you a really, really valuable piece of advice, or some really, really important words of encouragement to help you move forward. Life is so full of Easter eggs that are so precious. And if we think about just crossing the finish line, it's going to be a long and frankly miserable road. So I think part of temperance is also finding the joy in the journey, finding the joy in the friends you make along the way, so to speak. Okay, we also have, so we have the Six of Swords coming through. Some of you guys might end up traveling as you might end up traveling as a result of this success, like going to LA or going to whatever the big city is in your country where successful people go. Or maybe you're moving from another country to LA, I don't know. But if you guys, any opportunity that you're pursuing that requires you to go kind of far away, I think that that could be a sign that that's the one. So for example, you have a meeting to go to, but it's like an hour drive away, or you have an audition to go to, but it's in another city, or anything that requires you to relocate yourself or to interact with someone who's far away. It could be virtual, it could be like on Zoom or something. But if you have anything that's like, yeah, let's have a talk on Zoom at your noon and my 8 p.m., like something where there's a physical distance, a time difference, where you're interacting with someone kind of far away, or you're moving to go to the opportunity. I think that that could be a sign of like, oh, this is the one that I'm gonna get. The Six of Swords also talks about moving from a difficult situation to a more peaceful situation. So I really want you guys to know that things are going to get better for you. Things are going to look up for you. And even going back to this temperance thing, this idea of gaining control over your mindset, that's going to get easier and easier for you. It might be hard at first, but it's really like a muscle that you work, and it's a habit that you develop, and you will learn over time how to foster, I think is the word, a peaceful mind for yourself. I think that the Six of Swords can also talk about your online presence booming. Okay, we also have, so we have the King of Cups. This is another sign that you have found your opportunity, is if you're dealing with someone that you genuinely like as a person. And I just looked up and saw 2222, which I think is a huge confirmation of that, because 2222 is about partnerships and reciprocity. So when you are working for someone or with someone or alongside someone that you genuinely like as a person, and it's not just a business or transactional relationship, that's another sign, I think, that your big break is close. Or maybe it's someone who is already your friend. Like, maybe you collaborate with your friend or with your significant other, or, you know, someone you're already close to, someone that you like, and you put something out together and it becomes super, super successful. There's also advice for you here, always to work on things that you genuinely like. Work on things that your heart is in, because when the King or Queen or anybody of Cups appears, it tells me that this is someone who needs their heart to be involved in their work. They need their emotional fulfillment to be involved in their work. Some people don't. Like, for some people, a job can just be a job that pays the bills and brings them security, and then they have their emotional fulfillment outside of that. But I feel like for this group, for you guys, you really need to do something that you love. And if I can tie that into the previous message, I think it's also really important that you guys don't lose sight of your passion and what you really love, and that you don't start like putting things out just to become successful or just to get recognition, if that makes sense. Like, for example, somebody who is working on a YouTube channel because they want to have 1 million subscribers, but they don't really, you know, like, that's their only goal. They don't really care about the content that they're making, or they're not really passionate about the content that they're making. It's just about the money for them, or it's just about getting the views for them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's someone's intention, that is completely their right. But what I'm just saying is that I think for you guys, you really need to have your heart in it. Like, I think that's something that's very important to your soul, and I think that's something that's really important for you guys to keep going, and also to not be so discouraged. Like, if it's not all about the success, and it's not all about the material gifts that come from it. Any hardships that you experience in those areas, you won't take it as hard, because at the end of the day, you still love what you're doing, if that makes sense. So doing what you love is super important. Again, I think this offer is going to come from somebody, or this blessing is going to come from somebody or with somebody that you truly like as a person. And this success that you're reaching could also lead to someone reaching out to you that you've like been interested in for a long time, or that you've looked up to for a long time. And this is a really specific message, but like, if you've ever felt really weirdly drawn to a person, place, or thing that you have no idea why, but you've been drawn to it for a really long time, this journey will start to reveal the reason why. It sounds kind of spooky, but like if you always felt drawn to a certain person, not for no reason, but like, I can't explain the intensity of this, or like, I can't explain why I feel drawn to this city or country so much. And maybe since you were a child, again, that's going to start to reveal itself to you. So you're kind of finding the place where your soul belongs, and you're understanding the intricacy and the beauty of divine plans. You're seeing the beauty in the unpredictability. You're seeing the beauty in the strength and resilience and wisdom that it gives you. You're seeing how everything was crafted so perfectly, even when your human brain didn't understand. Ooh, it's so beautiful. I have goosebumps. Okay, and then we have the Page of Rods. So this would be the Page of Wands. Immediately, I don't know if this is what it is, but this looks like a corkscrew. You know when you, like it's a corkscrew, right? Like a wine bottle opener. That's what this looks like to me. So maybe you guys will be like celebrating this victory. You'll be toasting, or these leaves made me think maybe you'll be like smoking as a celebration, or maybe that helps you to get inspiration, or maybe that will help you to calm down and to be more balanced. I'm not encouraging you to do anything that you don't do already, by the way, but I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, yeah, so the Page of Wands is the start of a new journey where anything feels possible. And the page is like this bright young soul confidently diving into the next chapter of his life, so eager to see the extent of what he can do, what he can create. I feel like this blessing is really giving you guys a renewed hope and a renewed confidence, a renewed energy, a renewed enthusiasm towards your projects. And it really feels like, wow, this is just the beginning. And it's almost like, yeah, all of this pain and all of this long dragged out frustrating feeling that you guys have had, it's like wiped away, and you're this fresh young page again, and you're full of energy, and you're revved up, and you're ready to go. I also think when you reach the Six of Wands energy, you're going to be very attractive to many people. And I see several people like making advances towards you. If there's a certain someone you have in mind, that could be in the cards, pun intended. But I also think you're definitely going to have options. If you guys are already in a relationship, I was originally thinking these are people who are physically attracted to you, sexually, romantically attracted to you, which, I mean, people could be approaching you like that even if you are in a relationship. You just have to be like, sorry, leave me alone. But this could also be people approaching you wanting to collaborate with you because, you know, wands and fire energy, it's like sexual energy, but it's also creative energy. So I can interpret it that way as well. But you know, everyone wants a piece of the group 3 pie. And yeah, I mean, it will be up to you. I think there will be some lovely suitors, creative or romantic or whatever, suitors coming your way. And there might be some people that you want to send off on their merry way. But just know that you are going to be hot. You are going to be the hot topic. You are going to be attractive to many, many people during this time. Okay, so this last oracle deck that we're using here is just going to give us any other messages or advice that you need to know. Okay, we have the number 21, so that is reminding me of the world in tarot. So that's another, it's funny because the Six of Wands and the world are both cards that make me think of like popularity and fame and expanding your platform, and your world is getting bigger, your horizons are expanding. This is also a number of abundance, and I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, it kind of further confirming that there might be some travel involved here, or like dealing with someone who's far away. Great awakening. Walk in your truth. Stand firm in your light. How can you trust yourself more? I think you guys just really, really, really need to know that you're on the right path, that you are doing the right thing. And it kind of goes back to the first message with the Seven of Wands, that some of you started to doubt, like, is this really my right path? Should I maybe take a different approach? Should I maybe try something in a different field? Or should I change the work that I'm doing? And this is a firm no. This is a firm no from Spirit, dog. Like, no, you're absolutely doing the right thing. This is what you were, I was going to say, this is what you're born to do, which is kind of dramatic, but there you go. I'm thinking of that Paramore song. We were born for this. Oh my God, that's such a good song. We were born for everybody sing. Oh my gosh, I need, that whole album is so good. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. We have number 42, which is 21 times 2 is 42. I don't know why that's significant, but oneness is the way. I wonder, is there a planet that has something significant like in 21 years or 21 months? Or I'm gonna look that up if I remember to. There's actually a couple things I have to look up that I told myself I was going to after filming and that I didn't. There was an angel that I had to look up, and I'm going to see if there's something astrological about a transit that's like 21 weeks or months or years or something, because that might be important. Anyway, oneness is the way. And look, she's wearing a crown, so that's your victory. That's you claiming your position of power. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? Wow, so I'm feeling a little bit of Leo energy coming through here. How can I say this without being like super blunt? The Leo energy can be kind of proud and can kind of tend to take things very personally. I guess I can use myself as an example. There was a period where I really wanted to be, like, I wanted to be famous, but like I didn't really care how it happened. So that's probably not a very good energy to start with. I think I just wanted attention, honestly. And I just wanted like validation. So I was trying like, I don't know, I was trying like modeling and little TV gigs and all this kind of stuff. Nothing major, but you know, little things here and there. And I would go to auditions for bigger agencies. I never got accepted into any of them. But I did take it quite personally, and I remember, like, because I was in kind of a self-centered way of thinking and it was all about me getting what I wanted, I would just be like, I don't understand why they're rejecting me. I don't understand why it's happening like this, or why the universe is doing this to me. And it was like me. And I needed to remember that, like, each of these agencies or each of these projects, like, I'm going to the audition saying, I want to contribute this to your project. I'm not stepping into that audition saying, okay, what can you guys do for me? Make me famous, give me this opportunity. Like, that's not how it works. It's their project, it's their vision. and we're just offering. But like, at the end of the day, the ball's in their court, and it's about what they think is going to give, what is going to be best for their project, if that makes sense. Like, I was just thinking of it too much from I guess like a selfish place, or yeah. And I guess we need to remember that it's not personal. At the end of the day, it's not personal. It's not that you're not good enough. It's just that this person's vision was different, and we need to have compassion for that. Like, this person's vision is different, and at the end of the day, their vision is most important because it's their thing, you know? And I think that this way of thinking can apply to any type of rejection, like romantic rejection as well. Again, it's not that you're not good enough. It's just that that person is looking for something specific, and maybe you don't match up with that. But their standard is not the be all end all. Like, they're not a god. Like, they're, you know, they don't have the say if you're valid or invalid or what. So I'm doing my best to explain what I mean, and I hope that it's coming across. But I think it's about removing that self-centered thinking and having compassion that everybody's on their own journey, and it's not everybody's job to validate us. It's everybody's job to find what works for them and what is best for them. And whether they choose you or reject you, that's not saying something about you. It's just about their journey. So we need to have compassion and understanding for them. And then when someone does choose us, it's even nicer because we know, like, we're really energetically aligned. We're really a good match. Okay, and then finally we have rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. How can you detach from the drama? Oh my gosh, this is really, really interesting. So remember I was saying it kind of feels like the path that you guys have chosen is statistically difficult, and that it's not for the faint of heart, and all of these things. So I would bet that there's a lot of people who are in the same boat as you, who are feeling the same struggles, who are feeling the same frustrations, who are feeling the same insecurities. And I think that you guys might be really, really picking up on the collective energy. I'm going to give an example of modeling. And I'm sorry, I keep using like examples in the arts and creative stuff, but that's just, I really feel that energy in this group. You know, let's say you want to get into modeling because you love fashion, like you love high fashion. It would be amazing to get to represent like the vision of such brilliant minds. You never really cared about like the vain side of it or cared about what you look like. But then you get into this industry where there's so much pressure to look a certain way or to be a certain shape or size, and maybe there's a lot of people around you who are very obsessed about this and going to extreme measures and like really insecure and stuff like that. And then even though that is not an energy that is inherently yours, by being in that arena, by being in that space, you might start to pick up on those feelings. You might start to pick up on that feeling of insecurity, that feeling of desperation, that feeling of taking everything personally. So some of this energy that I've just described, while you may be exhibiting behaviors like that, it may be something that you have absorbed from the collective of whatever space you're in, if that makes sense. That's really interesting. So you guys need, with this black stone here, you guys need some kind of grounding routine set in place. That's going to help with your mindset a lot. It's going to help so that you don't pick up energy that is not yours, because that could definitely be exacerbating the problems here. Ask your angels to cut energetic cords for you, or I don't know if that's the right word. Not cut cords, but to, well, maybe some of you guys actually do need to cut cords because I said it, but that's not what I'm thinking. I'm asking wait, you're asking your angels to remove energy that is not yours from you, to transmute it or to send it into the ground. You're carrying too much. That's an interesting message to end with, but these are all the messages I have for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose a topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you guys are interested in listening to that or any of my other songs, that channel will be linked down below as well. I am sending you guys so much love. I'm so excited for you, for your victory, and I'm sending lots of love to your spirit guides as well. And also I'm sending lots of love to everybody out there who is in your field. I'm sending you strength and courage and confidence, and you can do it. You can do anything. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 4s. So if you guys chose the clear quartz, this is going to be a reading all about the next big blessing that is coming into your life. So we are going to get right into it and figure out what this blessing is. All right, group number 4. What is the blessing that is coming into your life? Okay, so we have the Page of Materials. This would be the Page of Pentacles. And we have the Two of Inspiration. This would be the Two of Wands. And I'm going to leave these together because they did come out at the same time. And then let's get one more for you guys. We also have Awakening. So in traditional tarot, this would be Judgment. Oh, and I just noticed we have 2 and then we have a 20, which reduces to 2. So the number 2 might be significant for you guys. Oh my gosh, Molly's going crazy. She's really excited for you. So I'm going to start with these 2 cards, the Page of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. Page of Pentacles indicates good news surrounding finances and your career. Some of you guys, this blessing that's coming is some kind of raise, like a pay raise or a bonus, or you're getting a very generous gift of money. Some of you guys might actually be getting a new job as your blessing, because pages do talk about the initial stages of something. So starting in a new job, starting in a new position. Maybe some of you guys are starting a new project. If you guys have a project or a business that you've been wanting to work on, but you didn't have the time or you didn't have the resources to make it happen, I also think that this can be talking about those things coming to you. So, and actually, maybe some of you guys are like, you're working your regular job and then there's a passion project that you want to start on the side, but you feel like you don't have enough time or you don't have enough money to make it happen. But then you get a raise at work or you get some time off work, and I just saw 222. So yeah, 2 is a really, really important number for you guys. You get some extra money or you get some extra time off, and then that allows you to start the project that you want to start. That allows you to put the effort into your business, into your side hustle, into your passion project that you've always wanted to. And I think that's why the Two of Wands is here. It's funny because maybe this number 2 has been talking about you guys being able to multitask and put your energy and effort into 2 different things at the same time. But this card also talks about you having options, and it talks about the world opening up to you. It talks about you guys being more free and being more independent. So I think for a lot of you guys, this is showing you reaching a higher level of financial independence, financial freedom, financial comfort, and really feeling like you get to use your resources on what you want them to. So when you get money, it goes to what you want. When you have time, it goes to what you want. You don't have to, receive money and then immediately give it away to cover some expense or give it to someone else, or you don't have to give your time to someone else. I think this is you like claiming back what is yours and finally doing something that you've really, really been wanting to do. If you guys have been wanting to travel or go on some kind of trip or go to some kind of event, I also want to tell you guys that you will have the time and money to do this. But it looks like your life is taking on a new facet this year. Specifically, I wanted to say this year, and this is a timeless reading, so it's like whenever you find this video, I'm talking about that current year, but your guides are telling me that your life is taking on a new aspect, or you're exploring a new facet of yourself. So like you're not just group for the employee anymore. Now you're like group for the employee and the entrepreneur, or the employee and the artist, the employee and the traveler, or you're the business person and the student. It's like, get you a person that can do both. There's something you're doing both. You're really embracing your multifaceted talents and interests, and you're killing it. For those of you who have been struggling to decide between two different paths or two different projects, I really, really think that you guys can do both. You have the skill to do both, you have the talent, you have the brains to do both, and now you're also going to have the time and the money to do both. You have so much potential, both tapped and untapped, and I think your guides really see your eagerness and your thirst to explore your potential more. So they're going to do everything in their power to create an environment such that you can really let your talents shine and really explore your potential. I love, love, love this energy. And for any of you guys who are like just starting on a project or just starting on a business, it's going to go so, so, so well. Also, you guys were drawn to the clear quartz. So one of your blessings might be like a brilliant idea or an epiphany that is coming to you. Like you've been brainstorming for ideas about your next project, and finally it's hitting you what you're meant to do. So just keep your, what would you call it? Keep your senses open for epiphanies. I don't know which sense to tell you, because epiphanies can come visually, they can come auditorily, they can come through claircognizance, but you're going to be picking up on some important realization soon. And then we also have awakening. So I think a lot of the energy that we've been seeing here, it does have to do with your calling, and it does have to do with a higher purpose that your soul has. And I really, really like this card for you guys, because the awakening card or the judgment card, it really makes me think of like answering your calling and stepping up to reach your highest potential, and stepping up to the person that you know you can be, the person you knew that you always could be. So maybe some of you guys are coming out of this cycle. I think a lot of you guys are coming out of a cycle where you felt underappreciated, where you felt like you weren't getting the credit that you wanted, but also at the same time, maybe you kind of felt like you weren't living up to your full potential, or the wording that was coming to me, and I was kind of hesitant to say it, is like wasting your potential or wasting your talent. I really don't like that wording, but that might be how some of you guys were perceiving it. I know that like I've, said that kind of negative stuff to myself sometimes, so I know how it is, but feeling that kind of feeling of it's a shame or it's a waste, I have so many ideas, if only I had the time, or I have so much talent, if only it were recognized, that kind of feeling where what's going on in your amazing inner world is just it's not shining outward in the way that you want it to. And, whatever project this is, or whatever experience that is coming to you, like, yes, it's amazing because it's going to bring you material wealth and abundance. It's going to bring you security. But I think what you guys are really, really excited about is that it's going to give you an opportunity to really express yourself from the heart, and, for the world to really get to know you, and to really get to know what's within. Like, it's something that is authentic to you. This is what, it's interesting. In another group, I was talking about like what kind of career or what kind of path you need to be happy. And for you guys, I think in order to be happy, you need a path, you need a career, you need a project that you are irreplaceable in. Like, it has to be you, because no one's expression is like you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm thinking of this scene in Friends where I forget the context of it, but Joey like hires someone to pretend to be him and thinks that he's gonna fool his friends. So he sends this guy into Monica and Chandler's apartment to pretend to be him. And they're like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm Joey. How are you doing? But like, he can't be Joey. He's obviously not Joey. And I don't know, that scene was just playing in my head. And I was like, imagine if one day someone who is not me comes onto this channel and is like, hi guys, it's Kino. This sounds like Goofy. And they start doing the reading, you'll be like, what the heck is going on? This isn't Kino. So like, do you know what I mean? Whereas maybe if you're working in a company and you're sick, like someone else can fill in for you, someone else can pick up your shift. Like, it doesn't really matter. And I feel like you guys are, your soul is craving a place where you are not replaceable, where it is you and your individual expression matters. And yeah, the Two of Wands for me is like exploring your individuality as well. Or that's like an interpretation that it's come to have for me. And that's what this new project or this new job is going to let you do, or that's what this extra time and money that you're receiving is going to give you the freedom to explore. I think a lot of doors are opening for you this year. A lot of new doors are opening. Wow, I love this energy. So, let's take a couple of oracle cards now, and my intention for this part is any details that I missed from these tarot cards with regards to your blessing, your spirit guides can fill them in for me here. Anything else that we should know about Group 4's blessing? Ooh, we have Tiger's Eye with courage. So some of you guys need a little bit of courage to go for this and to accept this opportunity and to feel like it's really yours to claim. I'm thinking of the Chariot right now, even though she's not with us. But she makes me think of courage and the solar plexus. Cancer energy could be significant as well. And we have, ooh, Labradorite with take action. Yeah, so these go together very, very well. Having the courage to take action. I'm just thinking, like, tigers might be a significant spirit animal, and then also Labradors. Like, maybe somebody has a pet lab, or like a dog is a significant spirit animal for you. Or the place Labrador, which is in Canada. Shout out if you're Canadian. But yeah, this is a pretty straightforward message, and your guides are just telling you to have the courage to take action towards this blessing and to really claim it and to really go for it. You know, it can be something that you really, really want, but then once it's here, you are kind of getting cold feet. And I think that this is normal. I think that humans get scared in the face of what they really want because, like, there's so much at stake, and they want to make sure that they do the right thing with their blessings. Or maybe when it's really there, we start to feel like, wait, do I really deserve this? Or do I really have what it takes? And this is a really confidence boosting stone, or at least I think it is. I feel that it is. And your guides really, really want you to be confident. You have the clarity. You know that this is right for you. And if I'm not mistaken, I do remember reading that Labradorite helps to give us the strength to make it through transitions. Like, it helps us to gracefully navigate transitions. Maybe that it wasn't Labradorite, but I just thought of that now, so you probably needed to hear it. But let's get into the next section of your reading. So the information that we're gonna uncover here is how this blessing is going to find you, what you need to know to prepare for it, and how it's going to impact your life. And basically, I'm just going to keep pulling cards as I see fit until we have covered all of those points, because I don't know, doing like I'm gonna do one card for this and one card for that. It just hasn't been working for me recently, and it ends up going all over the place anyway. So let's just let the cards do what she wants to do. I remember this deck was so freaking stiff when I first got it, but she's finally warming up to me. All right, so what does group 4 need to know about this blessing? We have the 6 of coins. Aww! So the very first thing that your guides want you to know is that this blessing is coming to you because you deserve it. So for those of you, like some of you guys, it's like you're being chosen out of a group of people. So maybe there were many candidates for a certain job, or there were many candidates for a certain project, or for a bonus or a promotion. And this card is telling me that after careful deliberation, you will be chosen because you were the most fit, because you were the most deserving for this. The 6 of Pentacles, we would usually see scales on it, and so it was giving me this feeling of somebody weighing their options, and it's also about fairness. So this is just really coming through to tell you that you are worthy of the material abundance that is coming to you. You are worthy of the higher position that is coming to you. And if this is something that you're starting on your own, like it's not being offered to you, but you're just going out and starting a project on your own, I still want to tell you, I still want to tell you that you're deserving of it. I think some of you guys might feel, you might struggle with feeling guilty when you get blessings or when you get rewards, because your mind kind of goes to this place of like, why me? Why am I worthy of this blessing when there are other people who are, maybe you think like, oh, there are other people who are more talented than me, or there are other people who need this more than me. There are other people who are more deserving than me. And I think it's a good thing to be humble, and it's a good thing to recognize other people's worthiness, but not at the expense of your own. And it's also important to remember that you receiving these, oh, we have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, there's money coming in for you guys. Money and financial and professional opportunities. It's important for you to remember that you receiving this blessing does not take anything away from anybody else. You know, it's not a, what is it called? Zero-sum game, I think is the term. It's not a zero-sum game. So you can still get your blessings and others can still get their blessings as well, but you're doing a disservice to yourself and you're not giving yourself enough credit when you say, oh, like I shouldn't have gotten this person shouldn't have gotten that. And I get what you're trying to do. I think like your ego is trying to humble you so that you don't feel, maybe you don't want to feel like entitled, or you don't want to feel stuck up, but accepting your blessings is neither of those things. It's none of those things. It's like your ego is so afraid of being proud of itself. Your ego is so afraid of being confident. So you want to say like, oh no, I didn't deserve that. You should have gotten that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I was going to keep talking, but that was the end of the message. And on the same note, the same way you receiving blessings doesn't take away from others, others receiving blessings doesn't take away from you. So if you guys ever struggle with like comparing yourself to other people or feeling like you're behind and this person has so much more than me, just remember that wherever they are in their journey, it doesn't negate how far you've come, and it doesn't take away from the blessings that you are going to receive. The universe is fair, and everybody's going to reap what they sow. That's the expression. Yeah, maybe some of you guys are like afraid of being envied, or afraid that other people would think you're not deserving. Like, for example, let's say you got a promotion at your work and you might think that everybody in the workplace is whispering like, did you hear that group 4 got the promotion? Yeah, they totally don't deserve that. I should have gotten that. Like, you think people are talking badly like that or discrediting you or something, when in reality, everybody's talking about how deserving you are and how proud they are of you. You guys might have imposter syndrome as well, which it really ties into everything we were talking about, where you feel like you somehow got to your level of success by tricking people, and if they only knew the truth, they would see you're not worthy of this position, which is all crap, by the way. Just so you know. I know it might take more than a faceless lady on the internet telling you that, but I hope that I could help in planting a seed that you really, really are worthy of these blessings. Okay, now oh my gosh, we have the star. So Aquarius energy could be significant for you guys as well. And I love that the star has come out, because it means that your wildest hopes and dreams are coming true. It means that your future is so bright. It means that even the future you think is too good to be true, or even the dreams you think are too good to be true, they can come to you. Some of you guys might be afraid to take action or to claim these blessings, because you're afraid that, like, oh, maybe I'm gonna like the idea of it more than I like the real thing, or maybe it's not gonna be everything I dreamed of, or think that you're gonna mess it up in some way, or you're gonna lose it in some way. You guys seem to be quite hard on yourselves, and I do think everyone has optimism and pessimism inside them, but I feel like your pessimistic voice can kind of tend to take over sometimes, because your guides are continuing to reassure you, like, yes, this blessing is yours. Yes, you are so worthy of it. Yes, this future is real. Like, you need a lot of that reassurance, and that's okay, because they're here to give it to you as much as you need. But I really, really feel for you guys, because it looks like you're struggling to recognize your blessings as yours, and to confidently claim them, and to feel excited about them. So yeah, definitely preparing for your blessings is becoming more comfortable with receiving, and having the confidence to take it and say, yes, this is mine, I earned it, and I'm grateful for it, without feeling guilty. We have the Hanged Man, so there is some Pisces energy here as well, and I noticed that these are making a window, because Aquarius and Pisces season are right next to each other. I think that by the time this video is uploaded, these seasons will have already passed, I think, or Pisces season is going to be like on its way out. So maybe this is indicating like next Aquarius and Pisces season. So about a year from now, you guys will be at some kind of peak. You will be at, it's like a peak of your abundance, or a peak of your fulfillment. I'm just saying a year from now because it's a year from now at the time that this video is uploaded, but maybe at the time that you're watching this video, it's not a year, but this is like February, March, basically. I think that's going to be an important peak for you guys, where you really, really feel like you are thriving, where you really feel like you have embodied your calling, and that you are living in your fullest potential. It's funny because I don't really feel called to interpret the meaning of the Hanged Man. I think it was just here to add to the star and to make that little time frame for us. And I feel like I haven't been talking about time frames that much throughout this video, but maybe for you guys it was really significant. Okay, sure. Let's take all of them, because we also want to see how your life is going to be impacted. What is your life going to look like when you're living in your fullest potential? We have We have the Two of Swords. So again, this is about like indecision. I think this is also talking about you guys. Okay, I see why the Hanged Man is here. This is talking about you guys struggling to go for it and to claim your blessings. And the idea with the Two of Swords is that you can't make a decision, and so you're just frozen and nothing happens. And with the Hanged Man here, like, this is literally a skeleton. So it's almost as if this person has been hanging here so long and now they're quite literally dead. You know, like, I feel like there's memes like that where it's a skeleton and it's like me waiting for blah, 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 when it's like something, you know, like me waiting for so-and-so to release their next album and it's just a skeleton because they've been waiting for like 100 years. So yeah, this, for a lot of you guys, I think this is long overdue, and maybe you feel like you've been waiting for this blessing for a long time. But I also think that this is like, maybe some of you guys are stalling on taking action out of fear, and you're just hanging there and hanging there. And I'm kind of getting the message like these opportunities are not going to be around forever. I believe that we never stop receiving opportunities, and there might be opportunities for other things in the future. But this specific offer or this specific project that we're talking about right now, it's like, you know, you could let this pass you by if you don't have the courage to take action. And this indecision is keeping you in a stalemate with yourself. Ooh, okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Cups. So how this blessing will impact your life, first of all, you're entering into a time of your life where all of your efforts are paying off beautifully. And I love this for you because at the beginning of the reading, I was picking up on this energy that maybe some of you guys feel underappreciated or feel like you haven't been getting the credit or the payoff that you have wanted. And the Seven of Pentacles is like, with hard work and patience, your flowers will bloom, your crops will grow, you will be able to reap what you've sown and harvest the fruits of your labor. So you're entering into a very, very fertile time where you really feel fulfilled by the work that you do. There's something so rewarding. Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, but there's something so rewarding about like busting your butt and working hard and wiping the sweat off your brow and like, I'm tired, that was a good day of work, and then getting the payout for it, and then getting to enjoy that payout and treat yourself and support the ones around you. It's very empowering, that feeling of like, with my own effort and my own will, I can make my life better. And I think you're really starting to feel like the payout that comes off from what you're doing, it feels fair, it feels right, it feels like you're being supported enough, it feels like you're being nourished enough, and maybe even a little bit extra. with this extra coin at the top, you might feel like, wow, can I really get this much payoff for my work? Can I really get paid this handsomely for my work? Can I really have this much flexible and free time and still support myself? Yeah, actually, because this is the number 7. This is a very happy card. 7 makes me think of perfection. It makes me think of you feel very lucky, like lucky number 7, I think is a thing. So yeah, you're reaping your fruit and then some. It's like the universe sprinkled a little tip on there for you. I think you guys, maybe in a year from now, you guys are going to have a really nice lifestyle where your work schedule is very comfortable, but you make very good money for what you're doing. It's like you work less than before, but you make more than before. And maybe it did require you for some time to really bust your butt off and feel underappreciated for a while, but you planted those freaking seeds, and because you were patient and consistent, now you get to reap all of these very, very handsome rewards. It's funny that we have the Queen of Cups here too, and this is the second time this has happened today where, you know, I like imagine myself filming before I film, because I think that's just how brains work. Like, you imagine yourself doing the activity that you're about to do. But when I'm filming in my mind's eye, sometimes I see specific cards popping up. So this is the second time in today's video where, like, I saw the Queen of Cups come out when I was imagining myself filming for group 4, and then the Queen of Cups came out. And what I thought I would say with this card, for some strange reason, I was like, if the Queen of Cups comes out, it's talking about pets, which I don't know, but maybe it's because like the Queen of Cups is motherly and nurturing, and then I was thinking of babies, and then I was thinking of fur babies. So for some of you guys, a blessing that's coming to you is perhaps a new pet, or you might get to hang out with your friend's pet or go to your childhood home and see your pet that you haven't seen in a long time. But there's something about pets, or there's something about animals. Maybe you'll get to spend some time around some really, really nice animals. But yeah, it was a really weird like visualization and specific message that came up there. Also very off topic and very specific, but just looking at this bottle, which there's similar bottles on a lot of the cup cards, but when I look at this right now, I was thinking of, oh, somebody's finding like their perfect fragrance, like they're finding the fragrance that they love and that's going to be their go-to, or somebody's finding their skin product that, oh my gosh, this really works, this really, really is a good fit for me. Someone is finding their favorite product that finally works, that finally suits their lifestyle, that they don't have to change. Like, I'm sticking with this. I'm gonna go back to this regularly. So I don't know if some of you guys have been like struggling with skin products or hair products, or finding a fragrance that you like, or it could even be, I don't know, like finding a protein powder that you really like and that you're really gonna stick to, but it's like your beloved product that you're gonna become a repeater. Yeah, but now I think I will take this time to talk about the actual the actual standard meaning of the Queen of Cups. And I think this is your heart being really full because you're doing something that you love. You're doing something that you really, really care about. And it goes back to you guys expressing yourselves and expressing what's in your heart. If any of you guys have ever thought of doing like a spiritual side business or a spiritual project, or getting involved in that kind of work, with the Queen of Cups here, I do think that you could be very successful at that, because she does represent this highly sensitive soul, someone who is very attuned. Probably animals came up because I bet animals really, really like you. Like, they really like your energy, because you are this gentle, compassionate, very, very compassionate, sensitive soul, and you're highly intuitive. You're very attuned to the energies around you. You guys can probably, I don't know, maybe you have like a special bond with animals where you know how they're feeling, you know what they're thinking, or with like really small children as well. Or maybe really small children look at you funny because you have spirits around you, or because you have a very, very brilliant aura. But yeah, spiritual practices, spiritual projects, a career in the spiritual field could definitely be very, very fulfilling for you guys. But what I see for sure is that whatever you're doing, you are helping a lot of people. You are making a lot of people. It's like, because of the work that you do and because of how you touch people, the world feels less scary. And people feel less alone in the world, and they feel understood, and they feel connected. Like, the work that you're doing is making the world a softer and gentler, more comfortable and safer place for people. You're really, really, you're like healing people. Whether you're a spiritual healer or whatever work you're doing, you can heal through any work, I think, just with your compassion and with connecting to people and making efforts to understand them. But I want you guys to know that you're making such a positive impact. So if you ever have that little voice in your head that's trying to make you feel guilty for like making as much as you do, or for receiving as much blessings and admiration as you do, and you start to think, oh, I don't deserve this, like this person would deserve it, or anybody but me would deserve it, you need to remember, oh, I'm getting emotional. You need to remember just what a positive impact you make with the work that you do, just how many people are touched and affected, because I think you don't see the full extent of it, and chances are if you did see the full extent of it, you would understand worthy you are of this payoff, like the material payoff, the emotional payoff. Spirit is saying like it's the least I can do. Like really, it's the least I can do to throw this extra coin on your stack. Yeah, you guys, you're hard on yourselves. You need to give yourselves a lot more credit. So we're moving on to the final oracle deck now. So this is just going to be any last messages or advice that Spirit wants to give you. I think you guys, if you don't read your own, if you don't have tarot cards or if you don't read tarot cards, I think it's like Spirit saying you either think it's really, really fun, because I'm having a lot of fun reading for you, and I hope you're having fun too, and also that you would be very good at it. And if any of you guys, maybe this is one person out there, if you filmed a reading and you were like, I was gonna post it, but then I got scared, please post it. I just saw 3434 as well. Okay, you are the joy seeker. What little victories can you celebrate? So definitely you guys need to, I folded this card because I got too excited. You guys need to celebrate yourselves more. You need to give yourselves more credit. A little piece of advice from Spirit, and I don't know if this has to do with what we were talking about in the reading, but you are being encouraged to start a gratitude journal. If you feel like writing in it every day, you absolutely can, but just when you think of it or when it feels right to do so, write the little things that you feel grateful for. And even if it's something so simple, like I'm grateful that I'm awake, I'm grateful that I'm alive, I'm grateful that I have a house. Even little things like that. And I know it sounds cheesy, but in my experience, stopping and reminding myself to be grateful even for those very, very simple things, it actually really gets me in my feelings. It actually really, really touches me that Spirit has taken such good care of me. So gratitude journaling, gratitude lists, that could be really, really nice practice for you guys. You create your own reality. What you want wants you to. What do you want to experience? So scripting for your manifestations could be really, really beneficial as well. Also, can I just say, the Gem Goddess has a manifestation workshop and I did it and it was amazing. Really helps you get to the heart of what it is that you truly want and why you want it. Because when you have your why, it makes you that much more motivated and it gives that much more depth to the pursuit of what you want. So it helps you to get to the heart of that and like who you truly want to become. And it also, like, she walks you through step by step of like how to discover what your limiting beliefs are and how you can change them and how to find out what you really want. 10 out of 10. So just gonna plug that there. If any of you guys were looking for something like that, I would really, really, really recommend Gem's workshop. Oh, okay, so we have 2. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You have 1, 4, and then you have 14, which is 1 and 4, and then you have 5, which is also 1 and 4. Okay, forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Again, there's a need to be kinder to yourself. And I think I said like tigers could be significant. Oh, and then we were talking about pets and like tiger is a cat, this is a cat, and then Labrador is a dog. That kind of matches. But yes, you need to be kinder to yourself, and wild cats make me think of being confident and being passionate and being a go-getter. To receive, you must release. What can you let go of? What do you want to receive? You guys definitely need to release limiting beliefs if you are to, not in order for this blessing to find you, but I think for you, in order to truly claim it and to enjoy it and to hold on to it, there is a need to release some limiting beliefs. So I would really, really recommend like getting in writing Like, if you have a separate notebook for these kinds of things, even better. But to get in writing what it is that you really want and why, and what makes you think that you can't do that. What is it that your brain is telling you that makes you think that you can't do it, and see if you can address those. But I really want to affirm to you guys that the universe is doing everything in their power to bless you. And I think that these blessings that we're looking at are really just around the corner, and it's only going up from there. So these are all the messages that I am seeing for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in checking out that song or any of my other ones, that channel will also be linked down below. I'm sending you guys lots of love and sending your spirit guides lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!